again.
Welcome back. This segment of the program brought to you by Scrambled Jake's Breakfast Company. When it comes to the best, absolute, top-notch, number one, grade A, best breakfast in East Tennessee, get yourself to Scrambled Jake's Breakfast Company in Rocky Hill. That's right on North Shore in West Knoxville. Farm fresh foods, all local, incredible recipes, huge portions, just insane portions. Their cinnamon rolls are as big as a tire. They're enormous. Weekday or weekend, dine in or carry out. Scrambled Jake's Breakfast Company whips all the national spots. It's the local meeting place. You're looking to start the day with your team, start it there. Scrambled Jake's Breakfast Company, scramblejakes.com to learn more. Okay, a couple years ago, I broke down the numbers on how analytics were driving teams to fire up more threes, and we talked about it. Why shoot a long two when you can take 2 steps back, shoot a three, it's worth more. Okay, things have only continued to go in that direction. Longtime NBA writer Bob Ryan of ESPN and the Boston Globe recently pointed the finger at Steph Curry, the NBA's now all-time three-point shooter, for driving us in this direction. His quote, and we'll show you the quote here. It summarizes everything. What Mr. Curry has done is expand the concept of a legitimate makeable three. He can shoot it with remarkable accuracy from 3, 4, 5, however many feet beyond the arc. If he crosses midcourt with the ball, you'd better get your hands up. You think people haven't noticed? Trae Young, for one, is likewise doing it. The problem is that, as it is in so many other aspects of athletic life, some people are simply better than others. No one is going to out-Curry Curry, and that includes Young, but they will try. And we will see more teams shooting 5 for 32 from beyond the arc, rendering the game more and more unwatchable. Worse yet, we will see more college and high school kids hoisting threes as if it were the only way to, as they quaintly say these days, score the ball. Curry's influence is that profound. Basketball changes. The three-point line came in 40 years ago there, about conference by conference. They all had different rules. It brought in about 40 years ago because people were tired of seeing they dump it into Patrick Ewing on this end, you go down the other end, you dump it into Ralph Sampson. Now you come back down here and you dump it into Patrick Ewing. So it's like, okay, we got to get some way to get shooters back in the game. So the three-point came along. 40 years later, it has skewed so much. I went back and looked. The first 12 SEC, because you had some games that were canceled with COVID, so just looked at the first 12 games of SEC versus SEC this year. The average number of threes in those games is 49. You're talking 50 threes a game, whereas I looked 5 years ago, it was 42. So you've jumped another 7 shots per game in 5 years. It makes sense. You're smart to do it. Is it good for the game? Does it make the game unwatchable when one team shoots 6 for 27 and the other one's 5 for 30? Or do you guys look at it and say, it's basketball?
Well, I don't just say it's basketball. Basketball is taking, if you're a three-point shooter and you're open, yeah, you take that shot. It's 200% personnel to me. If you're Steph Curry, yeah, you shoot when you cross half court if you're open. But if you're not, then, you get an easier shot if there's an easier shot available. A lot of times we take these threes when I like the mid-range. I was a mid-range shooter, so I take a dribble in and shoot the mid-range shot, the free throw, extended, and shots like that. They're a lot easier, and you can make at a higher clip.
To me, analytics are good, but they're an scapegoat. They are the ability for a coach or a player to not have any sort of sense of what's going on in a basketball game. It is a way for a coach to say, hey, the analytics say let's do it this way, and so you can't get on me because this is what the analytics say, as opposed to having a feel for your own team, your own players, your own abilities, and a feel for, which is even harder, and this is why these coaches get paid a lot of money, is a feel for who you are playing against. And if I'm a coach and my team is not very good at shooting three-pointers or consistently have shown that they're not getting better, then I need to make adjustments to put my players in a better position to win basketball games, not just lean on the analytics and say, hey, well, analytics say shoot more threes, and if you shoot more, you're going to make more, which then you're going to score. No, as a coach, I got to have a feel for who I am playing, time and score, and what my own personnel says about my ability, and then I can play a basketball game to try to win best off of my ability.
I don't know if there's any changing this unless you just push the line back, but we're to the point, and the Bob Ryan thing is true, we're to the point that move it back 2 feet. How much is that going to change some of these systems that are just fire the threes? You're still going to shoot the threes. You've still got guys who are going to say, no, I'll just shoot it 2 feet back. Fine, that's no problem. I don't know. You had a fix for the Giants dominating inside, and it was the three-point line. Now it's swung so far back the other way. I don't know that there's a fix for it anymore. Is there a fix for it? Or no?
I don't think so. I mean, I think it's going to stay going this route of shooting more threes until you get another dominant inside player that affects the game differently.
Yeah, because the three is still worth more than the two. I mean,
Yep.
that's always going to be the same. So, yeah, unless you get somebody that can just score at a super high clip, scoring twos, then it's probably going to be this way for a while.
All right, very good. You guys take a break for a couple minutes. We'll talk about analytics with the other guys, and we'll look at football and other sports, because what you just said is it's actually on my script for the next segment about coaches who just say, well, it's analytics, and it's a good way of saying, don't question me. The analytics say to do it. It's a cover your butt kind of thing.
Yeah, it's for after the game.
Yes, exactly. So we'll talk about that next with our 4 other panelists. You guys are going to come back and talk about Kentucky and South Carolina a little later in the show. Come on back with us here on the Sports Source.